Hi folks, thanks for taking time out to join this week's Tiger Bite, the midweek review and preview show of all things Glasgow Speedway. I'm Derek Smith, joined as ever at the front of Tiger Bite by my anchor man, Glasgow correspondent for Speedway Star, Brian Copeland. Good evening, Brian.
Good evening, Derek. Happy to join you again, and delighted to be in such illustrious company as yours, given your newfound Speedway career that you've taken up in the last couple of weeks.
Now, we said we wouldn't mention that, Brian. I'm rather embarrassed by my slow speed, which was all over Facebook. But I tell you what, I would recommend it to everyone. You know, so many of us have watched these guys race round tracks for more years than we care to remember. And even at my very tentative speed around Ashfield a couple of weekends ago, it did give me quite an insight into just how talented these guys are at all levels of the sport. And I'm not talking about the first team necessarily. Even the emerging juniors and some of the second halfers who haven't progressed in particular fashion have got some skill and fashion just to be able to do what they do, Brian. So next year I'll get your name down, Brian, for next year.
We'll get a race next year, and so yeah, we'll settle us in the track.
So Brian, the last time we spoke on TIGERBITE, we bigged up the home and away clash against Workington, which would have taken place last weekend. In stepped the British summertime, of course, and both meetings were washed out, which was most unfortunate because the guys, so many of the riders up and down the country, not least within the Glasgow side, are craving for more bike time, and losing 2 months last weekend was dire, obviously.
Yeah, just we don't seem to be getting much luck this year. Given we had so much luck last year with the weather, we're maybe getting the opposite this year. It's a shame, but hopefully this Sunday's meeting away to Newcastle goes ahead. I know it's not a home fixture, but at least gives the guys some track time again, and hopefully we get back into a run of meetings.
Absolutely, I think that's what everyone in the team is looking forward to. So we haven't got anything at all to review as such, but we have got plenty to preview over this weekend. And I'm delighted to say it, and you'll have seen him on camera already, delighted to be joined by the current Glasgow #1, Richie Worrall, who's going to be a very busy man this weekend. Good evening to you, Richie.
Good evening, guys.
So, Richie, again. Last weekend, just back for more, Richie. Last weekend, Richie, no doubt you were all prepped for a couple of tough meetings against the Comets. And how close did you get to Glasgow on the Sunday?
I got all the way. I ended up in Glasgow. When we got rained off, at Workington, I just carried on because I was en route, and I went over and spent some time with Grant. I watched the Grand Prix with him. The cat's in the way. I watched the Grand Prix with Grant, hoping that the meeting was going to be on Sunday. But then, I think I was up there and it wasn't raining at all. And then I got the text off Stuart, meeting's off. So I thought, hang on, that's a bit early. But, for once, club actually looked at the weather and thought, yeah, this ain't going to be on later on. And it was a wise decision, really. It was just because I was up there and it weren't raining at the time that I was a bit confused. But because I don't like to look at the weather because it tends to put me in a wrong frame of mind. Because then if I know it's going to rain, or if I know there's a strong chance of being rained off, but I'm there, then I'm not in the right frame of mind, because I'm thinking the meeting's off. So I tend not to look at it and just think, right, this meeting's on. It's another one. It's going to do what we normally do. But,
so other than all the travelling you did last weekend, Richie, to no avail, if last weekend was a quiet one for you, this weekend is going to be the opposite end of the spectrum. You're a very busy man, riding Saturday, Sunday and Monday. We're going to talk about all of that with you just now. So tell us first of all what you're on Saturday night.
Saturday I'm out in Poland with a track called Opole, so we're away from home. So I'm flying out there tomorrow night. And then, so I'm flying out there tomorrow night. and then I'll fly back Sunday morning into Newcastle. The bikes and the van's going to meet me there, and then we'll race Newcastle on Sunday. I've done it that way, so I'm not tired, because I actually didn't really want to do this meeting out in Poland this week, because I thought it might be too much, because I'm not set up where I leave the equipment out there, because it's hard to find a mechanic that you trust, and I don't want to leave them with the club. No offense to the club, but you know, there's a lot of stories that, you know, guys have left their bikes in the workshops at the club, and then they've gone out there a day early without telling the club, and some kids riding around on the bikes. So it's I've got all the gear, you know, I've got all the bikes, the engines too, everything's there. There's a setup here and there's a setup for the but I just don't really trust anybody yet. I'm not. So what I'm kind of doing is feeling away in this year. I'm only going to do 5 or 6 matches, I think, because obviously fixture clashes, they ride weekends, and so do we over here. So there's not that many where I'm actually available to do. But the ones I am doing, the majority of them are away, which is good. I prefer that because then I can go to these other clubs, show them what I can do, and hopefully there's a lot of phone calls going to be answered in the winter for opportunities next year. So
good.
So that's Saturday night. And obviously Sunday we got Newcastle. I always enjoy going there. It's probably one of, when it's prepared, when Johnny's done a good job on it, which he does majority of the time. It's a great track to ride. I really enjoy it. It's where I learnt my trade, around there, Newcastle, and obviously my brother's there, so it's always nice to get one over on him. I'll try.
I thought you might mention him, Richie. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a red car tonight. I was just before I answered the call there, I was looking at his scores. He'd had a win in his first race.
So yeah,
and Richie, you told us in the last show you're racing for Ravitch out in Poland, if I've pronounced it correctly. Saturday night will be your 3rd or 4th meeting for them. How's it going out there? How are you finding Polish Speedway?
Third, with the third one, I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it, you know. And I thought I'd struggle a lot more than what I am doing, but you know, thanks to Jeff, who's done my engines, he's done me a really good engine out there, which I enjoy riding. Because that's a big thing, you know. We're riding Speedway, but it's a different sport out there. It really is, you know. Just the whole way it is, you know. Over here I use 1 tire. Out there I use 5. You know, 5 rear tires, and you need a new edge for every race. So there's a lot of work for the mechanic. You know, well, mechanics, you need 2. You can't just do 1. And then before the meeting, the coach can nominate 2 riders from each team to go out and do half an hour before the meeting starts, to go out and have 2 minutes practice. So I do that every time. I'm the first one to nominate myself for that, because obviously we're all riding really small tracks here, and then we go out there to big ones. So it's nice to get a little sneaky practice in firsthand. And I'm really enjoying it. Big scores as well. You know, probably no offense to say, I scored really well, and he seems to be struggling out there at the minute. But I think equipment wise and stuff, he's not quite there. Engines, for example, because he's a good rider, but I think looking at his scores compared to mine, we both ride with the same team. Just to let you know, he's only getting half of what I'm getting, if not a bit lower. But I think he's working hard on it. But it's good. I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I can't wait to go back out there. It's hard doing it at the minute for me with having to drive the bikes out there every time. Obviously, it's expensive to do it. Like this time, because P&O's been cancelling ferries and whatnot, it's cost me 400 quid just to get the ferry out there. I've got somebody driving the bikes out there. Well, they've done a stop off in Amsterdam today, I found out. Thanks to Grant Henderson, he's lent me his big van, which he's had converted. So that's on its way out there now. So I can just fly out there, and I'm not going to be too tired, because it kills you, the drive there and the drive back. And obviously we've got Newcastle Sunday, and then Bellevue Monday. I definitely don't want to be worn out for that.
And Richie,
you're living the dream, Richie.
What's the sort of culture like over there? Is it quite different to here in terms of the fans and the atmosphere?
The atmosphere is phenomenal, to be honest. The last place was at Lublin. I don't know, I didn't count, but the the last crowd they had was about 10 or 11,000, and it looked the same to me. The atmosphere was mental. It's like a football match. You know, there's a guy, I think he's got his own scaffolding stand, and he's on there with a drum, and he's got everybody singing and chanting. And on parade, they're throwing like toilet roll down or something, and flares and all kinds. It was mental. Yeah, it's something else. It's really good, and that's something you want. You know, as a rider, you want that. You think, oh, that these aren't playing about over here. You know, it's good. It's really good.
Credit to you, Richie, for putting yourself out there, because you're an ambitious guy, and you want to take your career on as high as you can, and you put yourself into the big shop windows, and I guess Poland serves that purpose for you. So credit to you for doing that.
Well, it was a no-brainer really, because obviously not having the Elite League ride over here, I need more bike time. Although yeah, it is hard, going all the way out there doing it. And you know, I now understand why a lot of Brits don't do it. You know, they just get really comfy at home riding in 2 leagues, and like it's expensive enough to set it up to race here. You've then got to set it up to race out there. You can't be using the same stuff. You can't use the same tools. You can't use the same knee braces or boots. Right? You've got to have out there what you've got here, and it's got to be better out there because the competition is really, really tough. And to set it up, you're looking around 20, 30 grand to set up going racing out there, as well as setting it up here. So that's why it's so hard to do. Even though a lot of guys do it, there is money to be earned out there. You know, at the top, a lot of money to be earned, but it's just getting there. But I am aspiring to be up there.
We'll hopefully see you there in the next couple of years, Richie. You never know. It seems strange to kind of move on to talk about Glasgow, because it feels like forever since we've had a meeting to talk about. But back in action on Sunday. Hopefully the weather holds out for us for a change. It's been a nice start to the season for us. I guess it's just a case of trying to keep that consistency that we've kind of shown so far, keeping that going into the next couple of months when the fixtures start to come thick and fast.
Yeah, I think we'll have a busy end to the season, or a busy second half of the season. Won't we, trying to play catch up? Good in a way. It's good in a way and bad in a way. Just because I've got so much time on my hands now, I wanted to get this in because I've had so much time on my hands. Over the winter I built. I don't know if you guys. I think the majority of you have seen that workshop what I've got now. I actually built that with a guy myself. And he's just split up with his business partner. Just split up, so I've gone into business with him now. We've started off as a civil engineering company. So I thought, well, as it is this year, it kind of suits me now. You know, I can put a lot of time into that. Venture off to Poland, whenever I can, and ride with Glasgow, because I don't. I've tried with these elite league clubs. I've been texting them, whenever anything's not gone right or whatever, I've been texting them, and I got messed around a little bit by one of them. Nothing's coming. The federation just plunked with a great big average, and I'm not attractive at all. So I've got to do something else to try and make some money, because bills have got to be paid. And obviously with Glasgow, there's been that many rain-offs. It's getting hard as well. So yeah, I've just started off, not my own, with another guy, a little civil engineering business, and I put some time into that. We managed to fit, when we was up in Glasgow, we managed to fit measuring up a little job in there on the weekend. So if anybody needs any work doing, give me a shout.
You've got your fingers in lots of pies, Mr. Worrall, but absolutely understandable, because as you alluded to earlier on, even just to set up in Poland alone was a big number, a big expense to you. So
yeah,
you've got to make your speedway pay, and when meetings are thin on the ground, then I guess you've got to turn your attention to other options, which is what you're doing. Richie, I was going to ask you, on Sunday, when you were racing at Newcastle on Sunday, I know you've got Poland on Saturday night, which is a bigger track, but it occurred to me that racing at Newcastle might not be the best preparation in terms of size and shape of the circuit for Bellevue on Monday night, or is it just down to bike time? Is that what counts rather than the shape of the circuit itself?
It's purely bike time. I think it's only going to take you a lap, if that, to to get back into the swing of the track. With being a speedway rider, you've got to adapt anyway. You know, something you learn over your career, because no tracks are the same. None of them are the same material, same shape. You know, same starts. None of them are exactly the same. So you've got to be good at adapting. And I think that, you know, yeah, it's only going to take a lap or two, or even a first turn. You know, you see a couple of guys, they might do a bit of a lock or something on the first turn, but then after that, they realise what they've got to do. That's why I always do in practice in Poland, and I don't make that one mistake. I'm straight on it. Yeah, it's lack of bike time. That's what the hard part. You know, just being rusty every time, reactions and stuff like that. You know, you're probably not as sharp as the likes of the other guys that are riding on a very regular basis. You know, I'll sit there some nights and I watch the updates of the clubs that are riding, and it frustrates me a little bit. You know, because I see guys, one night he's there, the next night he's there, and then the next night he's there, and it frustrates me thinking, you know, how much that they're riding. And I've, you know, it's been over a week now that I've not even sat on a bike. It is a bit frustrating when I want this to be my job.
Yeah.
And it can't, you know, there's no options there for me, but it is frustrating. It is really frustrating. But
you, Richie, you will know better than Brian and I that you know, Speedway's a funny old business, and you know, this time next week some event could have taken place, and suddenly you're trying to fit everything in because you're too busy. You know, opportunities will arise, Richie, surely.
I've been waiting for that now since March, and nothing's come up. I'll give up. I'll give up with it. You know, they've plunked me with a big average. You know, there's guys that also got plunked with a big average, but out of spot, and they've just. Well, I'm not going to name it. There's one guy, he went from a 7 or 8 point average down to a 5, and his phone's, you know, he was shocking all season. He got sacked. Now his phone's red hot. You know, it's what's going on. You know.
Yeah.
The game's being run by a bloody car salesman, you know. Con men.
Brian, ask a question quickly.
Yeah. Well, it's been remiss of us so far to not congratulate you on the big news that you did have in the last few days, Richie, which was being named in the sort of preliminary 10-man squad for this summer's World Cup. You made the Alan Roster's list. So first of all, congratulations on that. I think it'd be a stupid question to ask how it feels to be named in that team, but what do you think you need to do now, Richie, to try and cement your place in that 5-man team that will eventually go to the World Cup?
Send Roscoe a nice big hamper full of beer and wine.
I may just do it.
Know. Either that or find a magic wand, I think. You know, Roscoe, he's picked his team for that World Games. I think he's picked Stevie, you know, Stevie Cookie and Robert Lambert for this World Games thing. I don't even know what the World Games thing is, but I saw it online, and I texted Roscoe straight away. I was like, Stevie, I've scored more in 1 meet than he scored in 2 in Poland, and you're sending him to Poland for the World Games, mate. You're not looking what's going on. You're not looking at the scores. You're not like, all right, yeah, I'm not in the Elite League, but don't forget me, you know. And I was a bit frustrated with that, to be honest. I was frustrated with that because, all right, yeah, I'm not in that top league, but you know, I'm still here. You know? And obviously, that's how Richard Lawson felt. I felt for him. You know, he's been going really well. Elite League and Premier League, you know, he's been going really, really well. And for him to be forgot about is a shame. And it's not the first time Roscoe's forgot about him, to be honest. We all had a training camp in the winter, and Richard wasn't there, and I wondered why. It's because he got forgot about. You know, would he have turned up if he got the invite? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But he didn't get the invite anyway by Roscoe. Nothing against Roscoe, nothing against Richard, but I'm just stating the facts, and that's what people want to know. So to get in the team, I don't know. It's going to be hard. I know that, but I can just do what I'm doing. It's more open this year than it ever has been, I think, because you know, they're saying Bomber's getting too old. He should give some younger lads a shot. Craig's going to be in the team. You know, he's doing really well. He's probably one of Britain's top riders, both leagues. He's very strong. Robert's going to be in there without a doubt. And then I think these your last 2 spots really. whether he makes Robert the under-21, and then there's another, you know, it's them last 2 spots for the older guys. You know, could it be me? Could it be Danny? You know, who knows? He probably picked Steve because Steve is scoring 4 points at Bellevue each week. I don't know. You just don't know.
I suspect. Yeah, I suspect, Richie, you've answered the question in so much as all you can do is keep doing what you've been doing all season for Glasgow in the championship. You've taken the step. You're riding in Poland, and you're doing well out there. Some other British haven't made that step out to the continent, and I dare say, Monday night must be an opportunity for you to catch Roscoe's eye, and perhaps Premiership clubs as well.
That's Monday night's a big one, yeah, and I think it's, with it being at Bellevue especially, it's more open than ever, because Bellevue is one of them tracks where anything can happen. You know, there's no hiding places. If you're not fast enough, you get found out. But there's you know, where everybody's as fast as everybody. Sometimes, you know, I went there the other day just to watch, you know, do a little bit of homework, and I saw Jack Smith beat Hans Anderson.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
So that just shows what kind of track it is. So it just all depends on the night. So the engine that, because obviously I didn't have a great year at Bellevue last year. I don't think I was strong, and I don't particularly feel like there was ever any race where I thought, oh yeah, that was good. You know, that was, the bike worked really, really well. Then I was never happy. I've got this engine out which I use in Poland, which has got a lot of power. So I'm just going to use that one, and hopefully it makes it back in time, and I'll just get that bolted in Monday. Let's get that bolted in Monday morning. I'll try that and see what that can do.
Richie,
it is a big track.
Richie, if you don't mind, I think you might be doing you slight injustice in terms of your ability to get round Bellevue quickly. And let's have a look back, in fact, to evidence of that. Last year when Bellevue hosted Wolverhampton, and you beat a certain Ty Woofenden. Let's have a look at that now.
You see Ty Woffenden there, you're racing against him last year. He, of course, isn't in the British final and isn't in the World Cup squad either. What does that do for you guys in terms of the other British riders? Does it give you more of an opportunity, do you think, or would you rather have one of the world's best riders there to go out and potentially try and beat him? What's your kind of views on it?
Well, there's one thing, like there's one question of, why is he not doing the British final? Why is he not riding for the Great Britain team? There is an answer. I'm not allowed to say it, but it's confused. Like, it's probably everybody already knows. I don't know. Word gets around, but he's not happy with a certain thing and a certain someone. So he said, right, do it without me. Let's see how well you do. Which I think Great Britain will miss him a lot in that World Cup, because he always does go and score the bulk of the points. He's done it for the last several years, scored the bulk of the points at the King's Lynn round and then whenever they go abroad. I definitely do think they're going to miss him. But it opens the door a lot, especially for the British final. You know, there's more of a chance of winning a British title now that he's not in it, because let's face it, you know, he's quick. And we all saw him last year at the World Cup at Bellevue. He was really quick, and you know, if the odds were decent enough, I'd put money on him to win it if he turned up. So it does open the door and gives you that bit more confidence that you think, you know, that I've actually got a shot of being the British champion, if not getting on the podium.
Richie, you will have looked at the lineup for Monday night, and I dare say there's not one rider. Yeah, I haven't looked at it.
The only person who knows in is Ben Barker, because I saw that he got added in or something today.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I won't spoil it for you, Richie. I'll let you turn up on Monday night and work out who's in the pits. But I was going to suggest that you've beaten all of them at some point.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah, every British guy I've always beat at least once. Yeah, I'll hold my hand up for that.
It's fair to say that it has been one of the best starts to the season you've potentially had. You're doing well in Poland. You're doing well for Glasgow. What does the rest of the season hold for you? Is there anything more you want to achieve? Any kind of personal goals you've set yourself? By September, October time, you want to have achieved that this season?
Cardiff would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be something else.
Yeah.
So hopefully we kick on Monday and get the result there, and then we're off to Cardiff. That would be a massive goal. You know, that's what gets me out of bed at bloody 6 a.m. to go for a jog. The noise. I sit there and watch it. Actually, in the arena, and I get goosebumps. So I don't know what would happen if I was down there with the kit lads, and I'd probably start blubbering.
Yeah. Listen. Thanks a lot for joining us, Richie. Appreciate your time ahead of a very busy weekend for you, and we wish you all the best in Poland on Saturday, and hope you come through unscathed for the big meetings you've got on Sunday and Monday, and hopefully we might go out and prove a point on Monday night, and it might sort of put you into some people's thoughts.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We'll see how it goes. The weather's looking good for all the matches, so hopefully no rain-offs, and we'll get some racing done.
Good. Well, I'm sure there'll be
how it goes.
I'm sure there'll be a solid Glasgow support, travelling support to Newcastle on Sunday, and onwards to Bellevue on Monday night. Richie, get behind you, and Richard, of course, is in the British final lineup on Monday night as well. So good luck over the weekend. Thanks for joining us, Richie, and look forward to seeing you at Ashfield a week on Saturday for the visit of your former team Ipswich.
Yeah, no problem, mate. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Richie.
See you later. Nice.
Good night.
See you later. Good night.
So yeah, Brian, a very confident, chatty Richie Worrall as ever. Very buoyant about the challenges ahead. He relishes, I think, the big stage, and he's craving to lift that British title and get the wild card at Cardiff.
Yeah, I certainly think it would be a turn up for the books, and if Richie was to go out and win that. But like he says, that's maybe been a little bit unfair, because the meeting is so wide open. Anyone could come from sort of left field and come in and take a podium place, never mind win the thing, like Danny King did last year. So exciting meeting and prospect. I think extremely hard to call, and one rider just needs to go out and have one good night, and they suddenly could be standing there as British champions. So I think both our guys have got probably just as good a chance as any. They probably would be a bit more of a surprise than one of the bigger names, I suppose, or guys that have been there before, but you just never know.
You're probably right, and we've touched on the fact that Richard is also in that lineup on Monday night. And in the last couple of years, Richard has came close to making the final. He's made a couple of semi-finals, and I dare say, given recent events, Richard will be fired up on Monday to prove a point.
Absolutely. I think he finished 5th last year, if my memory's right. So he just, by one place, missed out in a final spot, and then 6th the previous year. And I think he was unlucky in that occasion as well. He was excluded, I think, actually, for instance, involving Scott Nicholls, who we've just been talking about. So he's come close on a couple of occasions. I think he'll probably feel as though it's kind of his turn to get there to the final. He's certainly had the speed of late, and those few meetings he's done in the Premiership with Somerset, where I think he's scored double figures in every one so far, will certainly be a boost to his confidence. And again, he can feel pretty aggrieved, I think, to not be in that Team Great Britain, World Cup squad. So absolutely a point to prove for Richard on Monday night, and I think he's in for a big meeting.
So there you are, Tigers fans. That brings us all up to date. Lots of Speedway action to take in over the weekend. If you're travelling down to Brough Park on Sunday, as ever, get those flags waving and make lots of noise. Get behind the lads. And on Monday night, of course, the British final. Richard and Richie challenging for honours, televised, the first domestic fixture on BT Sports, of course, if you're not able to go to Manchester. Brian and I will be back next midweek to preview the visit of Ipswich to Ashfield next Saturday night at 7 p.m. Until then, look after yourselves. Thanks again for joining. Good night.
Good night.